on the Hawkeyes Sports Network. From Learfield, Iowa Hawkeye Softball is brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community by University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. Hawkeye softball.
Live from Pearl Field at the University of Iowa, it's time to write another chapter of Iowa softball, and we're celebrating 50 years of women's athletics at the University of Iowa. Your Iowa Hawkeyes are playing their last home game of the season, this time an in-state matchup with the UNI Panthers from the University of Northern Iowa. Hi everybody, my name is Lucas Strain, and you're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. 50 years of women's athletics is nothing to scoff at, an impressive feat that started in 1973 when University President Sandy Boyd elevated women's athletics to the intercollegiate level, and they received their first funding for uniforms, travel, meals, and release time for coaches who are instructors and graduate students in the women's physical education department. Fast forward to today, where the Iowa women's basketball team upsets the number 1 seed and overall favorite of the tournament and plays in the national championship game, the highest viewership ratings for a national championship in the history of women's basketball. The team was led by AP Player of the Year and Caitlin Clark, and matched that with Megan Gustafson, who won the Naismith Player of the Year a couple years back. The basketball program is one that has seen high levels of success, something to be proud at after 50 years of women's athletics at the university. The softball team will look to carry that success over and onto the diamond starting today in their last home game of the year against UNI. The Northern Iowa Panthers are 34-11 on the year with a 23-1 record in the Missouri Valley Conference. Ryan Jacobs is in his 16th season at the helm of the Panthers with 425 career wins in the program. He's led the team to back-to-back regular season conference titles following their win over Valparaiso last week. The Iowa Hawkeyes are 30-22 this year, 10-10 in the Big Ten, and sitting 6th in the conference. The middle of the pack is tight in the Big Ten, to say the least, with multiple teams within one game of each other standings-wise, and 2 other teams are tied with the Hawkeyes at 10-10 in the conference, but due to tie-breaking procedures, Iowa sits the top of the 3. Coach Renee Gillespie is in her 5th season with the Hawkeyes, a 113-108 record. She's most recently led the Hawkeyes to a 2-1 series win over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights over the weekend. And it was really a bounce-back series for the Hawkeyes, having lost 4 straight coming into the series. They lost Game 1 to make it 5 in a row on Friday night by a final score of 5-3. Even the series and getting their first win in 6 games, Game 2 on Saturday, with a 7-4 victory, and then won the rubber match in Game 3 on Sunday by a final score of 9-6. Denali Lecker was the star of the weekend for the Hawkeyes, hitting 500 in 3 balls going over the wall, driving in 8 runs. Lecker also pitched in all 3 games for the Hawkeyes, totaling 7 2/3 innings in all 3 games, while allowing just 3 runs. Nia Carter was also magnificent, as always, in the first 2 games, reaching base every single time she went up to the plate, a perfect 7 for 7 over the first 2 games. If we scout UNI, it's been a record-breaking season for the Panthers. They've set new records in runs scored, doubles, home runs, strikeouts, and conference wins. The Panthers have also broken a few Missouri Valley records this year in runs scored and doubles. So it's a matchup to watch for between the high-powered UNI offense and the stifling Iowa pitching staff. The Panthers have won 13 straight, their last loss coming April 8th, nearly a month ago. Most recently, UNI swept Valparaiso in 3 games by a combined score of 19-2 2 of those 3 games, UNI shut out Valparaiso. 50 years of Iowa athletics in the final home game of the season. It's shaping up to be a good one this evening. It's the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Northern Iowa Panthers. Starting lineups are coming up next.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hi Hawkeye fans, my name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the number 1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Hi Hawkeye fans, my name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the number 1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
National anthem is just completed, and we've had our ceremonial first pitch thrown Couple of stars coming to throw out the first pitch for the Hawkeyes today. A couple players on that basketball team we were talking about at the opening. Number 20 and Kate Martin and Caitlin Clark, the National Player of the Year. But Kate Martin, who threw a strike with her first pitch, Caitlin Clark steps up and skids it across the dirt. So we're going to have to work on our softball skills, Caitlin, as I see her now signing some autographs on softballs behind the stands. Don't know if she was a softball player. Pitch didn't look good, but we know she looks good on the basketball court. Hawkeyes are taking the field defensively for the first time today. In the circle for the Hawks will be Denali Lecker, making just her third start of the season. This Lecker, a girl who usually comes out of the bullpen almost exclusively. We pull up her pitching stats so far this season. It is Lecker's 26th appearance, but again, only her third start coming out of the pen 23 times this year. Lecker is a 2-1 record with a 2.16 ERA over 58 and a third innings and leads the team with 8 saves on the year, only one on the team with multiple saves. So Lecker gets the start in the circle after not starting, but appearing in all 3 games last weekend against Rutgers. Again, she went 7 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs. She's going to lead things off with Kylie Sanders, who watches ball 1 miss low and inside, and we're underway. 5:01 start time between the Iowa Hawkeyes and Northern Iowa Panthers. Hi, everybody. I am Lucas Strain. We thank you very much for tuning in to this edition of Iowa Softball with Learfield. And Lecker pumps in a strike 1 right at the knees. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Iowa wearing their black pinstripe uniforms today. It's black uniforms with a gold pinstripe and a gold scripted Iowa across the chest. Off speed, catches the zone, strike 2 right down the heart of it, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kylie Sanders, leading off today's game. Iowa Hawkeyes coming off a 2-1 series win over Rutgers over the weekend in what stopped a 5-game losing streak. As Sanders hits a ground ball up the middle, second baseman Baines goes over, makes the play, and the throw over to first is in time. And we have our first out of the ball game, a 4-3 putout from Baines to Diaz. The Hawkeye defense is the same one we've seen the last couple of games. Across the outfield from left over to right is Briley Klosterman, Tatiana Roman, and Nia Carter. On the infield from third base over to first, Avery Jackson, Tori Bennett, Grace Baines, and Sammy Diaz. And behind the plate, making her 4th straight start, is Skylin Pogue. As Alexis Papillo goes up first pitch swinging, hits a pop fly in foul territory. And Avery Jackson makes the catch standing nearly on third base bag. And there's now quickly 2 away. Now it's the 3-hole batter for UNI, Madison Parks, the center fielder. Parks this year is hitting .336, a .467 OBP. This UNI team has 5 players hitting over 300. Parks watches ball 1, low and away. Again, Denali Lecker making just her 3rd start of the season, but quickly has 2 up and 2 down. And the 1-0 off speed is on the outer part of the plate, but it's in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Iowa this season, when they wear their pinstripe uniforms, are 4-3. Here's a ground ball to Baines again over at second base. Bobbles it, but throws over to Diaz in time for out number 3. So it's 3 up, 3 down for the UNI Panthers. Hawkeye defense looking strong, coming up to bat for the first time today. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City,
where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
Hawkeyes coming to bat for the first time today. Batting lineup pretty much the same we've seen the last couple of games. Remember, we went through that colossal change in which Coach Gillespie nearly changed the entire lineup upside down. It's pretty similar to how we've seen it the last couple of days. Briley Klosterman leading off. Tatiana Roman batting second and center. Nia Carter hitting third and right. So all three starting outfielders in the first three spots of the order for the Hawkeyes. Batting cleanup is Denali Lecker, who again hit 3 balls over the fence over the weekend. But if those who remember on Sunday, on one of the home runs she hit, she didn't step on first base. So statistically, she only ended up with 2 home runs last weekend, despite 3 balls going over the fence. Sammy Diaz is batting 5th. Tori Bennett hitting 6th. Grace Baines is batting 7th. Tristan Doster is the designated player today, batting 8th. Again, she's been the catcher for most of the season, but Skyland Pogue, who is the better defensive catcher for the Hawkeyes. Pogue starts behind the plate, and Doster serves as the DP, and Avery Jackson's rounding out the lineup and hitting 9th. They're going to be facing Samantha Heyer for the Panthers as she pumps in strike 1 on the outer half to Klosterman, 0-1. Heyer this season has won 5 Missouri Valley Player of the Week awards. A 1.76 ERA on the season as the 0-1 misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. A 1.76 ERA in 151 innings pitched. It's a 21-4 record. UNI's wearing all gray uniforms today. Purple socks or stirrups. Klosterman swings and misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's all gray uniforms, gray pants, gray jerseys. And Panthers is in a scripted cursive across the chest. It's in purple with a gold trim. A little more plain uniforms, especially compared to the Iowa pinstripes today. Klosterman battles with 1 on the outside corner. Stays alive, 1-2. The Northern Iowa defense from left field over to right is Dodge, Parks, and Moss. On the infield from third to first is Snyder, Sanders, Hogan, and Lemprecht. The 1-2 is a ground ball to second base, and it's fielded by the second baseman Hogan, who throws over to first. And Briley Klosterman is retired. Brings up Tatiana Roman for the Hawkeyes. Tatiana Roman this season is hitting .313, a .384 OBP. Has started now all 53 games in center field for the Hawkeyes. Last 5 games, she's been hitting 7 for 15 and has scored 5 times. And she watches strike 1 on the outer half, 0-1. Last series against Rutgers, she went 4 for 9 over the 3-game span and scored 3 times, had a pair of hits in Game 1 and in Game 3. And she swings and misses now. Roman, who takes the slap approach. The UNI infield is playing very shallow. The outfield's really deep for a very strange time. You don't usually see outfields playing deep on Roman. Roman likes to slap it, and that is the very traditional slap approach that you see from Roman, where she's actually just going to try and poke it in play. Just poke it over or through the infield. And she fouls another one off, staying alive. Count is still 0-2 to Roman. The transfer from Alabama A&M struggled to start the Big Ten season, hitting just around 200 over the first couple of series, but has turned it on as of late, as I said. Hitting over 300 on the season for the Hawkeyes. Counts 0-2. Heyer's pitch misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Roman. Didn't see much wind earlier today during the top of our broadcast, but now we see the flags out beyond the right center field wall are waving a little bit in the breeze. Nowhere near the 30-mile-an-hour winds we've seen earlier and pretty much all week long. Roman chases one out of the top of the zone, swings and misses for strike 3, and Samantha Heyer has her first strikeout of the ballgame. 2 away now, as it looks like our scoreboard out in center field is having some technical difficulties. They didn't put the count up the entire last at-bat, and now they're yet to put up that second out that Roman just made. As Nia Carter will now bat for Iowa. Watches ball one miss upstairs, 1-0. The Hawkeye scoreboard, an entire video board. And Nia Carter's picture and her statistics are up there. But it just appears, she gets hit in the head, appears to be okay. The pitch comes right up and just nails her right in the back of the helmet. Ricochets so hard off the helmet it goes all the way to the UNI dugout. She gives the thumbs up now to the home plate umpire behind the plate. But Nia Carter now reaches safely with 2 away after what was a scary situation at first. Now brings up Denali Lecker, who again, we talked about her a lot during the top of the broadcast, but she had a fantastic weekend against Rutgers as she fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Was moved back up into the cleanup spot for the first time since the first series of Big Ten play, was moved back up into the cleanup spot. And she immediately delivers for Coach Gillespie. It's a home run in the first game. She is in the cleanup spot. That first game was on Friday in game 1 of the Rutgers series, as this one bounces and then hits Lecker on the rebound. So that's back-to-back hit by pitches. Carter gets hit in the head. And then Samantha Heyer goes bowling, rolls it along the ground, and it just hits Lecker. Hits Lecker right in the back of the calf off of one hop. Back-to-back hit by pitches, puts 2 runners on with 2 outs. And Sammy Diaz is the new Hawkeye batter. Sammy Diaz, last series only went 1 for 8, but walked 4 times. She walked 4 times, 3 of those coming in 1 game. She has the 9th most walks in the Big Ten. Chases out of the zone now, though. And she's quickly behind. 0-2 is Diaz. And the scoreboard is still malfunctioning out in center field. I see, I'm looking over across to the other side of the press box. And we're on the phone with people. Diaz shows bunt, pulls back, fouls one down the right field line. Giving chase is the right fielder, and just out of the reach of Moss. Maybe a diving play, she would have had it, but it was too close to the wall. A dive could have done some serious damage to the UNI right fielder. But 2 on, 2 out. No balls and 2 strikes to Sammy Diaz. Runner in scoring position for the Hawkeyes and Nia Carter, who has great speed. Any type of base hit should score her. But Diaz comes up swinging and she misses for out number 3. A pair of strikeouts for Samantha Heyer gets her around the pair of hit by pitches. After 1 complete, the Nerfy hits. It's 0-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
We go down to the top of the second inning, as the press box has now become pretty chaotic up here in the top of the second. Getting a little bit crowded now. We still have our technical difficulties with our scoreboard out in center field. And Caitlin Clark and Kate Martin have now both entered the press box. As Maya Dodge will lead off the top of the second inning for the Panthers. UNI takes a very unique approach for their players, their non-starters, over between innings. They're all timing up Denali Lecker as she goes into her pitching motion. They're all in foul territory in front of their dugout, and they're timing up in what would be a stolen base attempt, I guess you could say, as Lecker goes to pitch. But Maya Dodge will lead off the cleanup hitter after UNI went 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Dodge is hitting .416 this year, a .483 OBP, and is slugging over .900. Fouls off the first pitch, a hack on a pitch up in the lettering. It was just a tad late on the Lecker fastball, 0-1. And the screwball sinker misses low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Iowa looking to take 2 of 3 in their in-state matchups between the 4 Division I Hawkeye softball, not Hawkeye, but Iowa, State of Iowa softball programs. As Lecker pumps in strike 2 on the inside half, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Iowa defeated Drake earlier this year in Des Moines by a score of 5-2. Followed it up last week with a loss to Iowa State, as this one misses low and in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lost a week ago today to the Cyclones, 7-4, in what was the first game this all season where the Hawkeyes scored in the first inning and eventually lost the game. Had been a perfect 12-0 up until that point. As this off-speed misses upstairs as well, so the count goes full to Maya Dodge, who's leading off the top of the second inning in what's been a scoreless affair. Into the full count pitch goes Lecker, and swing and a miss. A pitch off the plate for Maya Dodge, but she chased it and came up empty. And Denali Lecker has her first strikeout of the ballgame. And brings up Addison McElrath, the sophomore DP today. McElrath watches strike 1 on the lower inside corner, 0-1. McElrath this year hitting .438. She has not had enough ABs to qualify to be in the top of the order. She hits a hard ground ball towards Jackson at third base, who easily makes the play for out number 2. Quickly 2 up, 2 down now for the Panthers. Taylor Hogan, the second baseman, will look to avoid back-to-back 3 up, 3 downs. Hogan, the second baseman, hitting .323 this season. Has 42 hits and 130 ABs. She swings first pitch, hits it to Jackson, who knocks it down, bobbles it, picks it up, bare hand, throw to first is strong and in time. So this one's a bit of a harder play for Avery Jackson, but she makes it anyway. And again, 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second inning for UNI. After 1.5, we're still scoreless. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Bottom of the second for the Hawks, and Tori Bennett will lead things off offensively. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Take a closer look and you'll discover the many connections you have to corn. And those connections translate into wins for farmers and wins for all Iowans. Share your winning moments using hashtag IowansWin. As I said, Iowa looking to win 2 of 3 in the in-state matchups. Again, beat Drake earlier this season, 5-2 in Des Moines. Lost a week ago today to the Cyclones. A win today would secure the 2 out of 3. Tori Bennett, the freshman out of Fort Dodge, starting shortstop, who has started every game at shortstop for the Hawkeyes, will lead off the bottom of the second inning, hitting .312 on the season, a .372 OBP and slugging .388. First pitch from Higher is called strike one. 0-1. Tori Bennett, who's hitting the 3-hole for much of the season, has seen herself get moved down into the 6th spot after what was a struggling middle part of the season and a 1-for-20 skid. But since then, as ball one misses inside, 1-1. Scoreboard appears to be working decently well now. At least the count is being updated. Tori Bennett, since she's been moved down to the 6th hole, has started hitting really well again. Last series, she went 4 for 9 as she lines one into right field, a bloop, and it's going to drop in safely for a base hit, and it gets past Moss out in right field. Bennett's rounding second and going to third, and she will have a stand-up triple to lead off the second inning. This will actually probably go down as a single and then an error on Moss out in right field. Had a lot of slice on it, did that ball into right. Off the bat of Bennett, and the freshman who goes the other way on the off-speed punches it out, and the ball has a lot of spin, and it kicks off the shin of Moss out in right field. And yeah, statistically, that will just go down as a single and then an error. Tori Bennett getting all the way to third base and quickly a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Grace Baines watches ball one up and out. And she watches strike one to even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Grace Baines hitting .266 this year. A .337 OBP, .392 slugging. Last series, she went 3 for 9. She actually went 1 for 3 in every game of the series. This one is inside as well, so it's now 2 balls and 1 strike. They say she went 1 for 3 in every game on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In that Game 3 on Sunday, she had a walk as well, scored a run, and also drove one in. And she hits a weak ground ball on the infield. The run's going to score as the play is made at first. But Iowa takes the first run of the ball game and lead it 1-0. That's a spot where you're just trying to do your job. If you're Grace Baines, you know, really anything, you hit in a good spot and the run's going to score. Hit it right in the middle of no man's land. But good defense from the Northern Iowa squad, and they get the out, but Hawkeyes lead is 1-0. Tristan Doster now for the Hawkeyes. Watches ball one inside, 1-0. Doster is a sophomore from Fort Dodge, serving as the DP today. Has been a starting catcher for most of the season. And she swings and misses 1-1. As a matter of fact, she had caught 22 straight games to start off Big Ten play. And, of course, that includes the tail end of the non-conference schedule. But she didn't start any games last series against Rutgers. Skyland Pogue starting behind the plate in all 3 of them. She fouls this one off the netting, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And a large reason that she hasn't been starting is just because she hasn't been swinging it. 1 for 17 over the last 7 games. She pinch hit in each of the first 2 games against Rutgers. Popped up once and walked in the other one. Swings and misses now on a ball out of the zone. Comes up empty, 2 away. And Samantha Higher now has 3 strikeouts. Avery Jackson for the Hawkeyes, as there's 2 outs. Jackson is hitting just .123 this season, but she's been very solid defensively for Iowa, as she's trying to win that spot for the final infielder. Her and Anna Streff have kind of been duking it out over the last couple of weeks. Watches strike one, up and in. 0-1. Avery Jackson, who's, as I said, very solid behind, not behind the plate, excuse me, but over at third base. Very solid defensively. It's the bat where she's been struggling. And this will be a base hit, however. Lines a single into left field, just past the glove of Sanders at shortstop. And that stops an 0 for 20 skid for Avery Jackson. A 2-out single into left, back to the top of the Hawkeye order. Briley Klosterman now for the Hawkeyes. Klosterman is 0 for 1. Last series she went 1 for 8 with 3 strikeouts. And again, we've talked about it quite a bit the last couple of games, but Coach Gillespie completely revamping this Iowa offense, changing the lineup over completely as Klosterman watches strike one at the lettering, 0-1. And one of those changes included Briley Klosterman, who she slid into the leadoff spot after hitting in the lower part of the order for much of the year. But since getting moved into the leadoff spot, including today's game, Briley Klosterman is just 2 for 13. The 0-1 catches the outside corner, 0-2 now to Klosterman. So since batting in the leadoff spot, she is 2 for 13 with 4 strikeouts. So while a lot of other girls in the lineup have seen success in their new spots, Briley Klosterman is not among them. Behind 0-2 now, 2 outs. Avery Jackson's on first. As here's a fly ball into left field. Dodge goes over to make the catch for the final out, but the Hawkeyes score first with a pair of singles, and they were aided by a Northern Iowa error. So after 2 complete, Iowa leads it 1-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Top of the third, Iowa leads it 1-0. 7-8-9 due up in the Northern Iowa offense. It's going to be Snyder, Moss, and Lamprecht. And again, I'm looking over at this UNI team. I really enjoy and get a kick out of how the UNI handles their between inning process. You see, a lot of teams will typically have girls go out and do some kind of activity. Like for Iowa, for example, when they're the one taking the field between the half innings, the rest of the players in the dugout will go out and play catch out in left field or right field if they're in the first base dugout to keep the arms loose. And if they're the offensive team, everyone runs down and touches the outfield wall and runs back to the dugout. Just ways to stay loose. But UNI, they all pretend like they're going to try and steal bases, and they're getting a read on Lecker. And Brooke Snyder swings first pitch, fouls it down the third base line, 0-1. Brooke Snyder hitting .323 this season. This is her 45th start. Watches strike 2 on the low and inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes to Snyder. A .325 hitter. Slugging .650 on the season. No balls and 2 strikes. And here's a hard ground ball to Bennett at short. She smothers it, and the throw over is nice and easy. It's a nice play there from Tori Bennett. A tough 2-hopper. It was hit right at her, but it was hit hard off the bat of Snyder. And again, Bennett just kind of smothered it with her glove, kind of pushing it to the ground. But that's the first out of the third inning. Sammy Moss, the starting right fielder, will bat now. Remember, she made the error in the bottom of the second inning that allowed Tori Bennett to reach third and eventually score. Gave the Hawkeyes 1-0 lead. Watches ball 1-0. Moss hitting .174 this season. 13 hits and 69 RBI, and 69 ABs, excuse me. Swings and misses now. 1 ball and 1 strike. Denali Lecker, the one in the circle for the Hawkeyes. He's thrown just a little bit over 20 pitches now. As here's another swing and a miss from the left-handed batting Moss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lecker into the motion, and the 1-2 is just fouled off the padding. 1 and 2. I think just about another half an inch lower in the zone, and Denali Lecker would have had her second strikeout. Lecker making just her 3rd start of the season. Again, 23 appearances out of the bullpen for Lecker, making her 3rd start of the season, first one in Big Ten play. And this off-speed is pulled foul just to the right of the first base bag. Lecker's been doing a really good job thus far of mixing her pitches, mixing the locations, just keeping this UNI offense guessing. And UNI offense that we talked about at the beginning has had a record-breaking season thus far. As here's another foul ball. A record-breaking offense. They've scored the most runs in program history, and have also hit the most home runs in their program's history. 68 long balls this year. 68 of them. You compare that to the Hawkeyes, who have just 18. And the 1-2 was just a little bit high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Moss has done a really good job thus far of sticking tough with 2. So the count's 2-2. Lecker in the pitch, and it's low and in the dirt. It's chased by Moss. Drop 3rd strike. The throw down to first is in time from Pogue. Really nice job from Pogue behind the plate. Moss, who chased out of the zone on a ball that bounced about 2 feet in front of the plate. A really good stop from Pogue behind it. And Denali Lecker, a really good off-speed out of the hand. Gets her 2nd strikeout of the evening. Now there's 2 away as Lamprecht is the 9-hole batter and will bat for the first time today. She lines one into right field. Carter's going towards the line, and she makes the catch. And there's out number 3. Really nice jump from Nia Carter out in right field. It looked like that one was going to be able to drop in between her and the line, but she raced over and made the 2-handed catch. We're through 2.5, and Lecker's faced the minimum. Iowa leads it 1-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Bottom of the 3rd, 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Hawkeyes. And we have a pitching change for UNI. Samantha Heyer is done after going 2 innings. She gets subbed out to start the 3rd inning in favor of Anna Wisnowski. Wisnowski, wearing number 8 this season, has a 4.10 ERA in 27 1/3 innings pitched. This is just her 14th appearance of the season. So it's been a short outing for Samantha Heyer. This just after getting named the Missouri Valley Pitcher of the Week for her performance last week in their 3-game set against Valparaiso. Tatiana Roman will lead off. Watches ball 1 inside, 1-0. Samantha Heyer gets chased out of the game early, and Anna Wisnowski is in now in relief for the Panthers, is dealing with Tatiana Roman to lead off the bottom of the 3rd. Roman watches strike 1 on the outside corner, 1-1. Tatiana Roman is 0 for 1 today. She struck out swinging in the first. Chased a pitch out of the zone. Doesn't chase this one. It was low and in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tatiana Roman has been just about everywhere in the United States. From Garden Grove, California, but played her first collegiate years at Alabama A&M. Here's a pop fly in foul territory towards the third base dugout, and a nice catch by Snyder up against the wall for out number 1. A pop fly in foul territory, and Snyder goes over and makes the catch running into the fence just after making the play. One away as Nia Carter steps up for the second time. She was hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance and was later stranded on second base in the first. That hit by pitch hit her right in the back of the head. One that just came out of the hand of Hire a little bit late. She shows bunt, pulls back. We have a check down to third base to see if she got it back in time. She did. Counts 1-0. Nia Carter, who started last series 7 for 7 in games 1 and 2 before going 0 for 4 in game 3. Still finished 7 of 11 over the series. This one misses outside, 2-0 now to Nia Carter. She's hitting .481 on the season, a .525 OBP, and a .541 slugging. All 3 of those categories lead the team. She also leads the team with 37 runs scored and is second in RBIs. And here's a weak fly ball out towards left field, and a nice basket catch from Dodge, the Panther left fielder, and that's out number 2. I don't think Dodge got the best read off that off the bat. It was weakly hit off the bat of Carter, and she just kind of dropped it out into left field, and Dodge came on, overran it just a little bit, and had to make a basket catch around her waist. 2 up, 2 down. Denali Lecker, who was also hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance, comes up. Remember, she's had a phenomenal weekend last weekend. And here's a hard ground ball to the shortstop, and Sanders, who botched it, hit her right off the heel of the glove, and Lecker reaches base safely. Sanders couldn't really get a read on that wall either. Kind of let it eat her up, dropped down to a knee to try and make the play. And it hits right off the heel of her glove and bounces into the air. Lecker reaches safely. We have a runner over at first base as well now for Lecker in the form of Haley Down. Bottom of the third inning, and Haley Down getting inserted to the game already. It's something we know Coach Gillespie loves doing, using Haley Down and Riley Moss early in games as a pinch runner. This time running for Denali Lecker, who reached base safely after a 2-out error from the shortstop Sanders. Sammy Diaz swings first pitch and hits a weak fly ball out towards left center field. And Dodge goes over to catch the lazy fly ball. And Down is stranded at first base. After 3 complete, Iowa leads it 1-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City,
where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
Top of the 4th inning, Denali Lecker re-enters the game into the circle after getting pinch ran for in the bottom of the 3rd. She's faced the minimum. Through 3 so far. 9 up, 9 down. So Kylie Sanders will lead off the top of the 4th inning. For UNI, Panthers still looking for their first base runner. Sanders grounded out to Baines at second base to lead off the game in the top of the 1st inning. University of Iowa Healthcare has the game plan for your same-day healthcare needs. If you need treatment for a common illness or minor injury, visit one of several UI Quick Care or urgent care locations throughout the Iowa City-Cedar Rapids corridor. Their care and expertise will help you get back in the game. UI Healthcare is proud to sponsor your Iowa Hawkeyes. Sanders comes up and swings first pitch, hits a ground ball back up the middle, which hit off the glove of Denali Lecker before eventually reaching the outfield grass. So to lead off the top of the fourth inning, Kylie Sanders has UNI's first hit of the game. In the top of the fourth, UNI has no runs on 1 hit and 2 defensive errors so far. Iowa has 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. The 1 run Hawkeyes have scored was aided on by an error from the Panthers in that second inning. Ball 1 upstairs to Alexis Papillo. And Papillo swings and misses on the 1-0 off speed. Count evens at 1-1. It's a completely different game now, and what's just been a 1-run game thus far, but now the tying runner is on base as we are 40 minutes into the game, and it's already the top of the fourth inning. Weak ground ball to Diaz, no play at second. We'll just field it and step on first for the first out, and Papillo's ground out just serves as a sacrifice bunt. 1 away, runner in scoring position in Sanders, and Madison Parks will step up. Parks, the redshirt junior, playing center field today, is 0 for 1, grounded out to Baines at second base in the first inning. And her first pitch from Lecker misses a little bit low, 1-0. Counts 1-0. Sanders stands on second base, acting as the game-tying run as the wind has completely died back down now. As this off-speed misses low and outside, 2-0. Denali Lecker, who's in just her 3rd start of the season. His 23 appearances out of the bullpen. But again, just her 3rd start and her first one a Big Ten play. Pumps in a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. In what's a beautiful day. In what's been a beautiful day so far in Iowa City. Definitely the best game weather-wise the Hawkeyes have seen in a while. As Parks squares to bunt and fouls it off, 2-2. 66 degrees here on the border between Iowa City, Coralville area, right on the western side of Iowa City. This after a week in which we saw 30-mile-an-hour winds for much of the time. I was making my walk to classes a couple of points, and I nearly felt like I was going to get blown over. And here's a hard ground ball back up the middle. Roman fields it, and Sanders gets stopped at third. A nice base hit from Madison Parks, but a really good throw from Tatiana Roman in center field. Holds Sanders to third base. He was just hit too hard off the bat, and a nice play from the Iowa center fielder stops the run from scoring, and now there's runners on the corners with 1 away, and the cleanup batter coming to the plate in the form of Maya Dodge. See what happens here as Maya Dodge is 0 for 1. She struck out swinging to lead off the second. Lecker goes into the motion and the pitch. He is low and outside, 1-0. The Iowa defense, corners are playing in. They'll try and cut down the game-tying run at the plate. The middle infielders, they're pretty much playing even with the bag, so they might try and cut the lead runner off too if the ball is hit hard enough. This one's fouled down the first base line. 1 ball and 1 strike. Maya Dodge is hitting .413 this season. Has 15 long balls, tied for the most on the team, 15 of them. Here's a ground ball to Jackson at third, who charges, makes the throw home to the covering Pogue, and the tag is applied for the out. A really great play from Avery Jackson, the Hawkeye third baseman. She charged on that weakly hit ground ball at third base. Had to field it on the run and make the throw all in one motion. Fields it off the short hop. And then the throw to the covering Pogue, who applies the tag. And the Hawkeyes still lead 1-0. That's going to be a play that we remember, but here's a fly ball out towards left center field, and it's a one-hopper off the wall. One run will score, and the second run will score. This throw gets behind Pogue at the plate, and advancing to third is McElrath. And as we just talked about Avery Jackson making the fantastic defensive play, McElrath comes up big for UNI, and the Panthers take a 2-1 lead. A one-hopper off the wall as McElrath comes up swinging first pitch and hits a double off the left center field wall. The Hawkeye defense relays the ball in, and Tori Bennett's throw home was a little bit short. Pogue couldn't smother it and gets behind her, and McElrath advanced to third base on the throw. That will go down as a defensive error for Tori Bennett. Counts 1-0 to Hogan, the UNI second baseman. And this one's called strike on the upper part of the zone. 1-1. Denali Lecker, who is really getting beat up for the first time today, had gone perfect through the first three, 9 up, 9 down. But 3 hard-hit balls have led to 2 straight UNI runs as the Panthers lead it 2-1. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Taylor Hogan. McElrath stands on third after the 2-run double. And Lecker misses low and inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Due up in the home half of the fourth for the Hawkeyes is 6, 7, 8 in the order in Bennett, Baines, and Doster. The 3-1 is another hard fly ball out towards left center field, and it's off the very top of the wall. 1 run scores. The throw into second is late. Back-to-back 2-out doubles for the Panthers, and UNI now leads 3-1. Taylor Hogan giving this one a ride out towards left center field. And it just kind of screamed off the bat. I didn't even realize it had home run potential. It missed going over the wall by about 12 inches. He was hit so hard off the bat at Taylor Hogan. She now stands on second base after the RBI double. Skyland Pogue will now go out towards the circle and have a talk with Denali Lecker. 3 runs scored in the top of the 4th inning as UNI takes a 3-1 lead. 4 hits in this inning for the Panthers. This after going 0 for 9 to start the game. Everyone in their first time through the order failed to reach first base. Denali Lecker got 2 strikeouts as well. But now, what is the 7th batter to come to the plate in this inning? 4 of the 6 thus far have reached basically on a hard hit ball towards the outfield. Swinging first pitch is Snyder, who fouls it off. 0-1. And there's no break in the lineup as Brooke Snyder is the batter. Snyder hitting .325 this year. Has 11 home runs. One of 3 UNI batters with double-digit home runs on the year. Watches the off-speed catch the inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes now to the UNI third baseman. No balls and 2 strikes, 2 away. Runner stands on second. And here's a line drive down the right field line. It's going to drop in fair for a base hit and roll to the wall. The run will score. Snyder stops at second base. 3 straight 2-out doubles for the UNI Panthers, and they lead 4-1. 3 straight 2-out doubles to the wall by UNI, given up by Denali Lecker in what's been a 4-run, 5-hit in 1 error inning. We had cruised through the first 3 as Mandy Gardner now goes out to talk to Lecker out in the circle. We had cruised through the first 3 innings in 40 minutes of play. But now UNI has scored 4 in the 4th inning alone. And Iowa trails by 3. We have a pinch hitter now coming to the plate in place of Sammy Moss. Number 3, Faith Standerski. He's going to bat for the Panthers. This just her 29th appearance on the season. Is hitting .238, 15 hits and 63 at-bats. Looks to keep this streak going as UNI batters just keep trading places with the runner on second. And we're going to have a pitching change for the Hawkeyes as well. Denali Lecker exits, and Jalen Adams will come into the game. So as UNI goes into a pinch hitter, Coach Gillespie follows suit with the pitching change. And we're going to see a change in the Hawkeye batting order, you have to assume. As Denali Lecker, who's in the lineup and started as a pitcher, will now probably see her get changed to the designated player. And yep, Tristan Doster now comes into the game and she'll go behind the plate. So Coach Gillespie wants to keep Doster and Lecker's bat in the lineup. So Doster enters the game, who started as the DP. So Denali Lecker is done. She finishes going 3 2/3 innings, giving up 4 runs on 5 hits, striking out 2, but is also responsible for the runner on second and Snyder. Remember, she went through the first 3 innings facing the minimum, 9 up, 9 down. All the damage against her coming here in the top of the 4th. In to pitch for the Hawkeyes is freshman from Fort Dodge, Jalen Adams. Adams, who has spent much of the year as the number 2 on the team, as of late has kind of pushed her way into the ace role. A 2.12 ERA over 115 and 1/3 innings pitched. Has gone 7 complete games. And she's facing Faith Standerski to start her evening. And Standerski watches, called strike 1 on the inner half, 0-1. Again, due up for the Hawkeyes is 6, 7, 8, Bennett, Baines, and Doster, as this one's fouled over the stands. 0-2, really kind of a dangerous off-speed out of the hand of Adams. Left that one up and in the zone. Standerski was just a little bit out in front of it. That's one both would really want back. The count's 0-2, and Adams into the pitch. This is a fastball that Standerski doesn't chase, up and in the eyes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jalen Adams not necessarily a pitcher who leans on the strikeout very heavily. As this one's fouled off the hands, and the count's still 1-2. Nice catch out in the crowd from one of the Northern Iowa dads. A really good crowd in this in-state matchup between the Hawkeyes and Panthers. Both sides of the bleachers, I'd say, are pretty full. As the 1-2 is a fly ball in shallow center field. Roman comes on and makes the catch for out number 3, but not before UNI scores 4 runs in the top of the 4th inning to take a 4-1 lead over the Hawkeyes. We head to the home half for the 4th. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be #1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
To the home half of the fourth, Tori Bennett will lead off for the Hawkeyes. Iowa trails at 4-1 after leading 1-0. 4 runs in the top of the fourth for UNI. Tori Bennett, who's 1 for 1, singled and later scored the only run of the game for the Hawkeyes. He was a leadoff single in the second inning down the right field line, but then kicked away by the UNI outfielder. I believe it was Moss who was out there in right. Yes, Moss is now re-entered after getting pinch hit for just last inning, but she's re-entered out in right field. Bennett watches the first pitch skim across the dirt, 1-0. And this one spat on but foul from Bennett. 1 ball and 1 strike. Iowa scoring the first run of the game. When they score first this season, they are 24-5. If they were to lose this game, just their 6th loss of the year when scoring first. And the off-speed misses low, 2-1 to Tori Bennett. Tori Bennett, who came up big over the weekend in Game 3 in the first inning, came up with a bases loaded, 2-out, 2-run single, and where 3 runs scored on the play. Here's a ground ball to shortstop. A tough play for Sanders, who misplays the short hop, and Tori Bennett reaches. We'll see if that one gets called a hit or an error. You see them discussing it along the right side, and it will get called an error at the moment. That's a very tough play to make if you're Kylie Sanders. That her 2nd error of the game for the UNI shortstop. But Tori Bennett reaches base safely to lead off an inning for the 2nd time today. Grace Baines is now at the plate. Baines is 0 for 1. She watches ball 1 outside. But she has an RBI, does Baines. She drove in Bennett, who was standing on third base in the 2nd, on a weak ground ball on the infield. Gave the Hawkeyes a 1-0 lead. The 1-0 is fouled off the netting. Baines just a little bit late on the fastball. 1-1. The count's 1-1 to Grace Baines. Stands in the right-handed batter's box. Anna Wisnowski in her 2nd inning of relief. And this one misses low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wisnowski, who started the 3rd inning, and the Hawkeyes win scoreless. This after Samantha Heyer started for UNI, who's been their ace all season, who we typically see go complete games. Only with 2 innings in this one, though. And this pitch is low and in the dirt, and Tori Bennett will advance to 2nd base safely. We'll see if that goes down as a pass ball or wild pitch. But nonetheless, A runner is in scoring position in the form of Tori Bennett. She stands at second base, a 3-1 count to Grace Baines with nobody out. And this one is hit foul, so the count goes full. Full count. Tori Bennett stands on second. Hawkeyes trail it 4-1. Grace Baines is at the plate. Nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Into the motion, and the pitch goes Wisnowski. And here's a hard ground ball along the right side and through for a base hit. And it's kicked off to the side by Moss. A run will score for the Hawkeyes. Baines slides into second base safely. And the score is now 4-2. That'll go down as an RBI single for Grace Baines into right, her second RBI of the day. And she advances to second base safely on the air. Moss's second error out in right field. UNI's fourth error of the game and their second one of the inning. Tristan Doster is the new Hawkeye batter. Doster is 0 for 1. But she hits this one up through the middle for a base hit. Baines is getting waved around third, and the throw home is in time as Grace Baines gets tagged out. And a great defensive play from UNI. A fantastic throw from Parks, the center fielder, to gun down Baines at the plate. And it was hit so hard off the bat of Doster back up the middle. And Coach Gillespie, with no second thoughts, was waving Baines around. And that's the first out of the inning, so that's not ideal. If you're the Hawkeyes, you would have much rather had, say if Baines was held up at third, would have had runners on the corners with nobody out. But now they have just a runner on first. And there is one out. We have a runner over at first base now as well for Tristan Doster, and it's Riley Moss, another player on this Hawkeye roster that we see used pretty much exclusively as a runner. Avery Jackson will bat for the Hawkeyes. Iowa trails 4-2. Had 3 straight base hits. But after Baines was thrown out at home, it means the tying run is just at the plate. Avery Jackson fouls off the first pitch on the outer black. Counts 0-1. Avery Jackson, who's 1 for 1, singled on a line drive through the left side of the infield in the first plate appearance she had today. Behind 0-1 to Wisnowski. She shows bunt, pops it up into the air, and Wisnowski makes the basket catch just in fair territory. And Avery Jackson fails to get the bunt down and move the runner over. Back to the top of the order for the Hawkeyes and Briley Klosterman. Klosterman is 0 for 2. It's grounded out and flied out. So 3 straight Hawkeye hits, but only 1 run to show for it thus far. They trail 4-2. Tying run is at the plate in the form of Briley Klosterman. Watch a strike 1 on the lower inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Again, Klosterman is looking to catch a little bit of a spark. Is 2 for her last 14 ever since she got moved into the leadoff spot, with 4 strikeouts. But we know she can get on one of those hot stretches that makes her nearly impossible to get out. Fouls this one off her ankle, and the count's 0-2. Count is quickly 0-2 now to Klosterman. Riley Moss is on first. Pinch running for Tristan Doster. 2 outs into the motion, and the pitch is Wisnowski. And Klosterman chases out of the zone for strike 3. That ends the Hawkeye rally. 3 straight hits to start off the inning, but the Hawkeyes only score 1 run. After 4 complete, Iowa trails at 4-2. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Top of the 5th inning in what's been a very fast game. Jalen Adams back in after getting the final out of the 4th. We saw the first 3 innings get completed in 41 minutes. The first 18 outs of this game took only 41 minutes, but the fourth itself took nearly half an hour, 25 minutes, as there was 5 runs combined between the two. UNI leads it 4-2 over the Hawkeyes in what is their only matchup of the regular season and Iowa's last home game of the year. Lamprecht will lead off the top of the 5th as Jalen Adams gets her shoe caught on the rubber, kind of yanks it up, and the count's 1-0. Denali Lecker, who was the starting pitcher for the Hawkeyes, just her 3rd start of the year, was perfect through the first 3. 9 straight retired to start off her 3rd start of the year. But what was a chaotic 4th inning got her chased out of the game. This one's fouled down the third base line, 1 ball and 1 strike. Iowa is looking for their 3rd straight win after winning on Saturday and Sunday against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Those 2 wins stopped what was a 5-game losing skid for the Hawkeyes. The 1-1 is fouled off over the netting. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Lamprecht is 0 for 1. Lined out to Nia Carter out down the right field line for the final out of the 3rd. She was the only UNI starter to not bat in the 4th inning. Doesn't chase this fastball up and out of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the order is waiting on deck for UNI, and that was an inning where it was started with Sanders, who singled back up the middle, was the first of 5 hits over the inning. And here's a check swing, line drive, pop fly-ish, right to Avery Jackson at 3rd, who easily makes the catch. I can say all of those different words, line drive, pop fly-ish, because it was just a check swing from Lamprecht, who tried to stop herself on the way around, and she made contact and just kind of blooped it over to Avery Jackson at 3rd. First batter of the inning is retired. Back to the top of the order, and Kylie Sanders. And she wears this one in and off the elbow, right on the Evo Shield elbow guard. Sprints down to first base, does Sanders, and she reaches base safely for the 2nd straight plate appearance. Runner on first for Alexis Papillo. Papillo is the best hitter, at least batting average-wise on this team, hitting .431 on the year. .431, 62 hits and 144 ABs. Also has 15 home runs, which is tied for the most on the team. This one misses way inside, 1-0. Today, Papillo is 0 for 2. Popped up in the first and grounded out last inning. And the 1-0 catches the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. And we have a runner just taking second base in Sanders. The Hawkeye defense just wasn't paying attention. That goes down as a stolen base statistically. Tori Bennett, the shortstop, Grace Baines, second baseman, and Jalen Adams, the pitcher, were all looking in at the dugout for the sign, as this one's fouled off 1-2. All three of them were looking at the dugout for the sign for the next pitch. And Sanders, who saw that nobody was paying attention, just sprints towards second base and takes the steal. She now moves herself into scoring position. Counts 1-2 to Papillo. And the pitch, it's a fly ball in shallow right center field. Nia Carter comes on and makes the catch. Sanders fakes tagging up, but decides not to test Carter's arm. It's the second out. And Madison Perks, the UNI center fielder, is coming to the plate. One for two today is Parks. And this one is up and in, 1-0. Parks grounded out and singled on a hard ground ball back up the middle. Later came around and scored as well. One of the 4 runs the Panthers scored last inning. And Parks fists one down the foul territory, and a diving catch from Briley Klosterman. I couldn't really see. I had a pillar right in my way, and I didn't think Klosterman had any chance of going to make that catch. She runs into foul territory, goes full extension, just to the left of the line. And a phenomenal catch from Briley Klosterman is the final out of the top of the 5th. As we head into the 5th inning stretch, you're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
Leading off the bottom of the 5th inning for the Hawkeyes is Tatiana Roman. It'll be Roman, Carter, and Lecker due up for the Hawks, 2-3-4. And they trail. We have a pitching change for UNI. Kaylin Packard will enter. So we've seen both Panther pitchers have done the same thing. Both went scoreless in their first inning and then gave up a single run in their second before getting pulled. Third UNI pitcher we've seen in this game. Kaylin Packard, a 12-5 record with a 2.40 ERA and 110 and 2/3 innings pitched. One of just 2 pitchers on this UNI team with over 100 pitchers. Really, it's a team that just uses 2. It just uses Samantha Heyer and Kaylin Packard. As Tatiana Roman watches ball 1 outside. Roman looking to reach base safely for the first time today. Is 0 for 2. Fouls this one off, 1-1. She struck out swinging and popped up in foul territory, so still yet to even put the ball in play. The count's 1-1. And this one catches the lower inside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kaylin Packard has a little bit of a funkier motion, you can say, from in the circle. And Roman is unable to check her swing on a ball out of the zone, chases it. As the appeal down to our third base ump is a called strike. So that's a strikeout to lead off the home half of the 5th. Nia Carter is the new Hawkeye batter. She's 0 for 1. Was hit by a pitch off the helmet. in the first and flied out into shallow left field. She shows bunt, tried to pull back but didn't do it in time. Just hit off the barrel of the bat and goes foul. Counts 0-1. As we're going to have a meeting out in the circle. There's a meeting more. It looks like between the pitching coach and one of the umpires, our third base umpire. I'm guessing they're looking at the rubber. The umpire is making a motion towards the rubber with his feet. Maybe showing something that Packard just hasn't been doing right. Coach goes back to the dugout. Counts 1-0 to Nia Carter. Still looking for her first hit of the game. This after going 7 for 11 last weekend against Rutgers. The off-speed misses low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Nia Carter going hitless is not something you typically see. Leads the Big Ten in batting average and in hits. And this one hits her. We're going to see if she was able to check her swing. And she was not able to check her swing. So despite the ball hitting Nia Carter on her left bicep, she was unable to stop herself from swinging. They're not calling it a foul ball. They're saying that she just swung through it. She was unable to check her swing, so it just goes down as a swinging strike. So the count's 2-1 as Carter is brought back into the box. Was looking for her second hit by pitch of the day. And here's a weak ground ball back up the middle, and miscommunication, nobody picks it up. The third baseman and Snyder and the pitcher and Packard were both looking at each other like who is going to field this ball as Nia Carter just hits it in the perfect spot. And she reaches, that'll go down as a base hit, her first hit of the day. Again, nobody was too eager to pick up that ball. Tying run is now at the plate in the form of Denali Lecker. Lecker, who we know has the home run potential. 3 balls over the fence last weekend against Rutgers, statistically only 2 home runs. As this off-speed bounces in front of the plate, 1-0. Denali Lecker, who was the starting pitcher in today's game, has now switched over to the designated player. The 1-0 is swung on and missed. A nice curveball on the outer half. 1-1. Lecker's 0 for 1. Was hit by a pitch in the first inning. And reached on an error by the shortstop and Sanders. The 1-1 count is a weak fly ball on the infield. Sanders calls everyone off and makes the catch. And there are 2 away. Sammy Diaz will bat for the Hawks. Diaz is 0 for 2. She's gone on a bit of a skid. Struck out swinging and flied out to left center. Last series, Diaz went 1 for 8. So just 1 for her last 10 is Sammy Diaz, but she had a really good single game against the Cyclones a week ago today when she went 2 for 4, the only Hawkeye with multiple hits on the day. Doesn't chase this curveball out of the zone. 1-0. Diaz back into the box. It's Kaylin Packard, I should say. Throws strike 1. Counts evens at 1 apiece. Packard in her first inning of relief. The third pitcher used today for the Panthers. They lead it 4-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning after scoring 4 runs in the top of the 4th. Diaz swings and misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sammy Diaz has 2 home runs on the year. Home run would tie it now. Hawkeyes facing the champions of the Missouri Valley Conference and the UNI Panthers. This one misses up and out, 2-2. Back-to-back years. Back-to-back years in which UNI won the regular season title in the MVC. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nia Carter's at first base, and here's a pop fly in foul territory down the first base line, and unable to make the play is Lamprecht. Wasn't comfortable. You could clearly see up against that wall. Couldn't really see. Was battling the sun as well, and what's a setting sun just behind the press box and third base dugout. Overran it just a tad, and it landed just over her head in foul territory. Do it all over again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nia Carter's on first base. Sammy Diaz is at the plate. Into the motion is Packard, and the off-speed is called strike 3. A change-up on the black. And the Hawkeyes strand another runner on the bases. As we head to the top of the 6th inning, Iowa trails 4-2. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Top of the 6th we go. Iowa trails 4-2. Leading off the 6th inning will be the UNI cleanup hitter in Dodge. When corn grows fuel, Iowans win. Ethanol is a renewable fuel that's better for our environment, our health, and our wallets. Share your winning moments using hashtag IowansWin. Plus, you'll be eligible for some fun, corny giveaways. It's been a tale of one inning as an outlier for this UNI offense. A team that has gone hitless in the first, second, third, and 5th innings. UNI went 9 up, 9 down over the first 3 as Denali Lecker faced the minimum, had a perfect game going into the 4th. Then in the 4th inning, the team exploded for a 4-run on 5 hits innings. Used an Iowa error as well. But all of their runs and all of their hits coming in that 1 inning. And then in the 5th, they followed up with no hits. Their only runner reaching on a hit by pitch. So all 4 runs and all 5 hits have come in the 4th, but it's been enough as they lead 4-2. Ball 1 upstairs to Maya Dodge. Dodge is 0 for 2. Jalen Adams back into the circle. And here's a hard ground ball to Baines. Fields it on 1 hop. Sidearm throw to first is made. And there's 1 away. Really hard ground ball. Nice play from Grace Baines. Hit hard off the bat, and 1 hop had a lot of spin on it as it curved towards the right field line. But she's able to field it and make the throw over. Addison McElrath. Well, that now for UNI. Watches ball 1 up high, 1-0. McElrath, who started the scoring rally for the Panthers, came up with 2 on and 2 outs. They had yet to score, still trailed it 1-0 before she hits a 2-out, 2-run double off the left center field wall. The first of 3 straight 2-out doubles by the Panthers. How they took over and took a 4-1 lead at the moment. Counts 2-0 now to McElrath. And she hits a line drive to Avery Jackson at third, who makes the catch. Nice piece off the bat, but right at Jackson. the Hawkeye third baseman, and there are two away. Taylor Hogan is the Panther batter. Hogan had another one of those two-out doubles. Hers was probably about 12 inches from leaving the yard. It was a laser off the bat that I didn't even know had the potential of leaving our playing area, as this one misses up and out, 1-0. Wasn't aided by the wind either. Literally no flapping of the winds at this moment. Occasionally you'll see them blow in a slight breeze, but they're hanging straight down right now after a week straight of 25 to 30 mile an hour winds. And this one misses upstairs, 2-0. Well, the girls just about finishing up their classes. This the last week of classes before finals week next week. And the 2-0 screwball catches the lower inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Really nice placement there from Adams. Adams, who has looked really good thus far in her 2 innings of relief. The 2-1 off speed is called strike. Really nice changeup out of the hand of Jalen Adams. Follows up the hard screwball on the inside with the soft changeup on the outside. Really nice pairing. We'll see how she follows it up now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away to Taylor Hogan. She goes with the fastball up high, but it's a little bit too high. Is unable to get Hogan to even off her at it. Count goes full. Counts full to Hogan. And the off-speed changeup, pop fly on the infield. Who's going to call it? Jalen Adams makes the catch, nearly pops out of her glove, but she holds on anyway. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 6th inning. We head to the bottom half. Iowa trails 4-2. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Tori Bennett will lead off for Iowa for the 3rd time today. Her 3rd time leading off an inning. Led off the 2nd with a single into right field. Later came around and scored. It was the first run of the ball game. Led off the 4th and reached base safely on a fielding error from the UNI shortstop and Sanders. It was a weak ground ball in a little bit of no man's land. Sanders tried to make the short hop on the play, but as she went to make the shortstop, kind of flicked it away from herself, and Bennett reached safely. Looking to reach for the 3rd straight time as Iowa trails at 4-2. They've scored in only the even innings thus far, so if the trend continues, this is the Hawkeyes' chance. And first pitch to Tori Bennett. He is up and outside, ball 1. It's been a very fast-paced game thus far, 1 hour and 28 minutes into the ball game. Tori Bennett has scored the only runs of the game for Iowa. Has scored both of them. She hits a high fly ball on the infield along the right side. And calling off everyone is Hogan, the second baseman, who makes the catch, and there's out number 1. Tori Bennett fails to reach base for the first time today. Second baseman Grace Baines will bat now for the Hawkeyes. Baines is 1 for 2. Has an RBI, a pair of them actually, has driven in both of the Hawkeye runs. Ball 1 misses, 1-0. Baines, the one hit was a line drive of a single into right. Here's a line drive into left, and it just goes foul. A couple feet left of the left field line. Baines appears to have had it timed up. Things get a little bit tight down the lines. Viewing-wise here in the press box. Had to wait just a little bit to see how others were reacting. Baines was thrown out trying to score, as this one misses a little bit low, 2-1. Tristan Doster had ripped a single into center field. Baines, who was standing on second, tried to score on the base hit, but she was thrown out at home. She bounces this one back to the mound, and Packard makes the play for the 1-3 putout. 2 up, 2 down. Tristan Doster for the Hawks. Doster 1 for 2, just mentioned what her hit was. A line drive single back up the middle to center field. Just missed her RBI opportunity as Grace Baines was thrown out at the plate. This fastball misses up and out. 1-0. Hawkeyes looking to keep the trend going where they've scored in the even innings. And they've scored in pitchers' second innings of work. The third pitcher used for the Panthers, as this one misses upstairs. 2-0. Kaylin Packard, who pitched a scoreless fifth in her first inning, is now retired. The first two Hawkeyes in the sixth. Iowa, a 30-22 record on the year, has won 2 straight. And the 2-0 is a little bit low, and the count moves to 3 balls and no strikes to Tristan Doster. Avery Jackson is the scheduled batter on deck. She has a hit today. We could see a pinch hitter, but the 3-0 is called strike. 3-1 to Doster. We could see a pinch hitter in the form of Emma Henderson. But as Avery Jackson, as I said, does have one of the 5 Hawkeye hits today, she might get the chance to bat. And here's a line drive through the left side for a base hit. Tristan Doster reaches out on the off-speed and pokes her second hit of the day into left field. Tying runs coming to the plate. We said that Avery Jackson might get the chance, and she will. Tying runs at the plate in the form of Avery Jackson. Hawkeyes looking to at least score 1 run in the bottom of the 6th inning, make the comeback just a little bit easier in the 7th, or do the whole thing right now. Jackson singled into left field in her first at-bat. In her other appearance, she tried to bunt, and here's a throw down to second base, and it's in time to retire Doster. The pitch from Packard was low. Papillo, the UNI catcher, blocked it with the chest protector. And Tristan Doster, who tried to make the read on it, tried to go down and swipe second. The ball just didn't get far enough away from Papillo. And Papillo pops up, picks it up with the bare hand, and fires down a perfect throw to second base. And Doster is thrown out trying to steal. We head to the top of the 7th inning. Iowa trails 4-2. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
To the top of the 7th we go. Hawkeyes trail at 4-2. Leading off will be Brooke Snyder for UNI. Jalen Adams into the circle. Misses a little bit low. Ball one. Iowa City Tire and Service is a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. Here's a foul ball off the hands. Goes into the seats. Play is not made by a couple of fans. Fairly disappointed, jumping out of the way. That's a playable ball. Counts 1-1 to Brooke Snyder. Snyder's 1 for 2. Doubled down the right field line. And here's a line drive, then it just goes off the tip of the glove of Avery Jackson. Rounding first, but staying at first is Snyder. That is a leadoff single for Brooke Snyder, her second hit of the game. Just off the glove of Avery Jackson. Was waiting to see if that one was going to be called a hit or an error. Definitely a hit. It's just sometimes I see different things. Snyder will get run for over at first. His number 5 is our pinch runner with our Belding. But the leadoff runner is on. After a line drive right at Avery Jackson at third, but as the bases paths are so short, reaction time was very slim. Just goes off the tip of the glove for Avery Jackson. Sammy Moss, the starting right fielder, has a chance now. We'll see if the bunt gets placed for Moss. Moss, who was pinch hit for last time her spot in the order came up, has re-entered the game on the defensive end. She's ahead in the count, 1-0 against Jalen Adams. Adams, who's been perfect in her 2 1/3 innings relief thus far. Looking to keep the Hawkeyes within trying distance. Here's a fly ball into center field, and the catch is made by Roman. Tries to double up her Belding at first, but she gets back safely. And there is one away. Her Belding kind of gone off just a little bit far, but she knows her own speed, was able to get back to first base. Darren Lamprecht is the UNI first baseman and the 9-hole batter. His 0 for 2 was lined out and popped up on the infield. And we have a stolen base attempt, and the throw is a little bit late. Go down a steal. Tori Bennett tries to catch her Belding with her foot off the bag as well. But the running move appears to have paid off thus far. Belding gets the stolen base. The pitch was a ball. So the count's 1-0. Runner in scoring position now with the top of the order waiting on deck. Darren Lamprecht is at the plate right now, though. Hawkeye outfield is playing shallow. Here's a ground ball to Bennett at shortstop. Looks the runner back to second, and the throw over to first base is in time. We've been complimenting her Belding on her base running thus far. I'd say she could have been a little bit more aggressive on that play. Nice play from Tori Bennett, nonetheless. But I think that was a ball where Belding could have started running as soon as it was hit off the bat, and she'd have reached third. And Bennett wouldn't have had a play to get the fielder's choice. But Bennett makes the nice play, looks her Belding back to the bag, and there's 2 away. Top of the order, swinging first pitch, pop fly in foul territory, but Jackson runs out of room, 0-1. Counts 0-1. Avery Jackson nearly running over the third base coach and Ryan Jacobs for UNI as she tried to track down that foul ball. And here's a hard grip ball through the right side for a base hit. Nia Carter's throwing home. Her throw is in time. Cut down at the plate is Air Belding. A beautiful throw from Nia Carter. And the score remains 4-2. A very good throw out of the hand of Nia Carter keeps this game within striking distance for the Hawkeyes. They're coming up with their last chance at the plate. Nia Carter with the strong throw to cut down her Pilding. No cutoff needed. Nia Carter to Doster immediately. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Iowa trails 4-2. Due up is 9-1-2 in the Hawkeye order. The Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series is all about celebrating our student athletes as well as our state's corn farmers. Just like the Cyclones and Hawkeyes work hard all year to get ready for the season ahead, so do Iowa's corn farmers, growing a crop used in over 4,000 products. That's a win for all Iowans. So the pinch runner doesn't end up working out as her Pilding is thrown out at the plate. Snyder re-enters the game after getting pinch ran for. Leading off the bottom of the 7th to try and spark this 2-run comeback is Avery Jackson. Jackson, who was at the plate in the bottom of the 6th inning an inning ago, was at the plate when Tristan Doster got thrown out trying to steal second. Jackson is 1 for 2 today, singled on a line drive into left. In her other plate appearance, tried to put down a sacrifice bunt, but she popped it up to the pitcher in the infield. And she swings and misses, comes up empty on pitch number 1, 0-1. Kaylin Packard in for her 3rd inning of relief. Iowa trails at 4-2 to UNI. UNI has won 13 straight games. Their last loss on April 8th, nearly a month ago. And the screwball misses low and inside, 1-1. A UNI team that has just won back-to-back Missouri Valley Conference regular season titles. And an off-speed is swung through by Avery Jackson. She was fooled quite a bit out in front. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top of the order waits on deck and Briley Klosterman. Back into the motion is Packard. And the pitch to Jackson is called strike 3. A fastball that catches the lower outside corner. And there's 1 away in the 7th inning. Avery Jackson didn't like the call. Walking back to the dugout and shaking her head. Pretty borderline, but it's a pitch that's been called all day by our umpire. Our home plate umpire, Dirk Sorensen. He's been consistent all day and rings up Jackson there. Top of the order due up for the Hawks and Briley Klosterman. Fastball catches the outside corner to the left-handed hitter. Klosterman is 0 for 3. He's grounded out, flied out, and struck out. Really struggled since moving into the leadoff spot. Just 2 for 15. And the off-speed changeup is outside. Count evens at 1 apiece. Tying run is on deck, but the Hawkeyes need a runner. Can't hit a 2-run home run when nobody's on. And this fastball is outside. A nice frame from Papillo behind the plate. But Sorensen, the home plate umpire, says no. Counts 2-1. Last home game of the season for the Hawkeyes. Perhaps they can win it in dramatic fashion. What would be their 3rd walk-off win of the season. And here's a 2-1 foul ball. Goes over the fence just beyond the third base dugout, and the count evens at 2-2. Iowa has a pair of walk-off wins already this season. Tristan Doster, a walk-off single into left against Northwestern. And Nia Carter, a walk-off single into center against Maryland. Who can play hero this time, if anyone? It's 2-2, and this changeup bounces nearly 2 feet in front of the plate. Klosterman doesn't even think about it. Count goes full, base hit, ball 4. The type of mentality right now for Klosterman. Still looking to reach base safely for the first time today. Last series, she went 1 for 8, striking out 3 times. The count's full on her now. And here's a high fly ball down the right field line, giving chase is Lamprecht, the first baseman, but it finds the seats. Staking tough with 2 on that one was Klosterman. Probably a pretty borderline pitch. A really nice job to not leave it up to Sorensen, the all-plate umpire. Control your own destiny. Base hit, ball 4 again. Counts full with 1 out. Packard to Klosterman, and it's low and in the dirt, ball 4. Tying runs coming to the plate. That's the first walk issued by UNI pitchers. Their 3rd pitcher of the day, and it's their first walk from Kaylin Packard. Tying run now coming to the plate in Tatiana Roman. Now we know Roman is not about to go yard here. We know that. Again, it's at this point, it's just about getting runners on base. Pass the baton, one girl to the next. Roman is 0 for 3. Has struck out twice. Doesn't chase out of the zone, and we have a ball off the glove for a pass ball. Klosterman advances to second base. Counts 1-0, but remember, Klosterman, her run means nothing. Hawkeyes trail it by 2. Tying runs at the plate. Nia Carter, Hawkeyes' best batter, waits on deck, who is also not a home run threat, but Denali Lecker is sitting in the hole. Tatiana Roman, 0 for 3. Still yet to put the ball in play today. The 1-0 is a fastball that just misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. So last 2 pitchers, or last 2 batters, I should say, Kaylin Packard has been struggling to find the zone. Roman, who's been swinging a very hot bat over the last 5 games, not including today. She had been 7 for 15 with 5 runs scored. All 7 are singles. The slap-hitting lefty will look to just push anything into the outfield. Be very surprised if we saw Klosterman as aggressive from second base. Here's a pop fly into shallow left field, and a sliding catch is made by Dodge for out number 2. Roman didn't hit it too hard, but the ball just kind of floated in the air, refused to die down into the grass, and it gave Dodge, the left fielder, plenty of time to range over and make the catch sliding to her knees. Nia Carter is now at the plate and is the Hawkeyes' last chance. She's 1 for 2. Represents the tying run. No home runs this season. And she swings first pitch, line drive back up the middle, base hit. Klosterman's rounding third, but she's going to stop. Coach Gillespie puts the brakes on. She realizes that that Klosterman's run doesn't mean anything. There's no choice, there's no point in trying to force another run home. It would just make it a 1-run game. Wanted to make sure to give Denali Lecker a chance. Runners on first and third, and Denali Lecker is at the plate. Again, Nia Carter's on first, who is the game-tying run. We could see a stolen base right now. Get her in scoring position. 8 for 11 on stolen bases this season. Denali Lecker, 3 home runs this weekend, 2 statistically. And she fouls off the first pitch. She was taking the home run swing there. The ball up and in the lettering was just a little bit late. Nia Carter was not running on the pitch. Packard, who has thrown pretty much exclusively fastballs in this 7th inning. The 0-1 is low and in the dirt. Nice stop from the catcher Papillo. Nia Carter doesn't go anywhere. Counts 1-1. Runners are on the corners. Hawkeyes trail by 2. Denali Lecker is 0 for 2. Was hit by a pitch, has reached on an air and popped up. And here's a fly ball into deep left field. But Maya Dodge is going to make the catch a couple feet shy of the wall for the 3rd and final out. Denali Lecker gave it a ride, but it wasn't enough as it falls just a little bit shy of the wall and Maya Dodge makes the catch just shy of the warning track for the third and final out of the inning. And the final out of this game, UNI wins it by a final score of 4-2. We're going to take a quick little break, and then we'll be back with our post-game press conference. You've been listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number one.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Final score, UNI Panthers 4, Iowa Hawkeyes 2. I'm Lucas Strain. You're going to start listening to the Iowa postgame coverage of this edition of Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa loses by a final score of 4-2 to the Missouri Valley Conference champions in UNI. So while Hawkeyes lose to a bit of a smaller school, there's still a very tough competition in the Panthers, winning back-to-back Missouri Valley regular season titles. Hawkeyes dropped to 30-23 on the season, just a 5-8 home record. It's been a tough homestand for the Hawkeyes, have been struggling to get their wins at home this season. As we'll see if Coach Gillespie will come up into the press box for a final post-game press conference. What was the final home game of the season for the Iowa Hawkeyes? Just 3 games left of the regular season schedule. A 3-game road set. This upcoming weekend with the Wisconsin Badgers. First game Friday at 6:30 on the Big Ten Network. Or you can listen to us here live on the Hawkeye Radio Network with Learfield. If we take a look at the box score, Denali Lecker was the Hawkeye starting pitcher. She went 3 2/3, was perfect through the first 3. She went perfect through the first 3 innings. But then the fourth, things just kind of got out of hand. She finished going 3 2/3 innings, giving up 4 runs, striking out 2. Was replaced by Jalen Adams, who was nearly perfect in her 3 1/3 innings of relief. Gives up no runs on 2 hits. The Iowa offense, Nia Carter went 2 for 3. Tristan Doster also goes 2 for 3. Grace Baines drives in both of the Hawkeye runs, statistically only gets the 1 RBI because one of them goes down as an error on the UNI defense. Tori Bennett scored both of the runs, once in the second and once in the fourth inning. Iowa held a 1-0 lead after Tori Bennett led off the second with a single into right and advanced all the way to third by a fielding error from the UNI right fielder Moss. Reaches all the way to third on it, and then Grace Baines hits an infield single to score Bennett, and the Hawkeyes take a 1-0 lead. And then as we go into the fourth inning, in the top of the fourth, UNI gets all of their runs, 4 runs on 5 hits. All but 2 of their hits came in that fourth inning. So the UNI Panthers took a 4-1 lead. Hawkeyes get one of them back in the bottom of the fourth. Had 3 straight runners reach base safely. Tori Bennett reached on an error. Grace Baines hits a single into right field, and as it was kicked away, Tori Bennett goes around and scores for the second time to make it 4-2. Tristan Doster follows it up with a hard single into center field, and Grace Baines, who was on second, rounded third, was sent home by Coach Gillespie, but thrown out at the plate in what was a promising start to the inning. 3 straight runners reach base safely, but you only get 1 out to show for it. Or 1 run, I should say, excuse me. And that was the last scoring action. We went scoreless on both sides over the last 3 frames in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and what was just a 1 hour and 50-minute game. We cruised through the first 3 in 41 minutes of play, and then the fourth inning is where all the action happened. 5 of the combined 6 runs taking place in that fourth. Iowa losing by a final score of 4-2. Northern Iowa gets 4 runs on 7 hits and 4 errors defensively, 2 by their right fielder Moss and 2 from their shortstop and Sanders. Iowa gets 2 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. That 1 error coming from Tori Bennett, who on a relay home on one of the doubles that UNI hit in the fourth inning, she threw a relay home and it was a little bit short of Skyland Pogue, or I should say it was Doster in the game at that time. Actually, it still might have been Pogue. I'm not entirely sure, but the throw was just a little bit short of whoever was catching. Rebounds off her gear and goes to the backstop. So that was the error, the lone error in this game for Iowa. They lose 4-2 in their final home game of the year, in the game in which we were celebrating 50 years of women's athletics at the University of Iowa. Something that started in 1973 when women's athletics was raised to the intercollegiate level. Couple Hawkeyes went hitless at the plate. Bradley Klosterman, still looking to find her spark from the leadoff spot, has gone just 2 for 15 since sliding into the 1 hole. Tatiana Roman saw her first struggling day at the plate. She goes 0 for 4, had come into the game 7 for her last 15. Denali Lecker followed up her 3/2 home run weekend, going 0 for 3. She was the last out of the game, but it was a ball which she gave a ride to the left field wall. A home run would have walked it off for the Hawkeyes, but it's found up just about 10 feet shy of the left field padding, as the catch was made by Maya Dodge for the final out. As we will still wait and see if we're going to have a post-game press conference in what is our final home game, the final time we have the chance to talk to her. In this game, Hawkeyes get set to play a 3-game set at Wisconsin this weekend before starting the Big Ten tournament in Champaign, Illinois. We're going to take a quick 30-second spot, and then we'll continue with our post-game coverage. You've been listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
We all love a good win, catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
As we see that Coach Gillespie is still out in left field, we'll just go ahead and skip our post-game post-game conference little interview with Coach Gillespie. So again, Hawkeyes lose by a score of 4-2 to the Northern Iowa Panthers, their last home game of the year. Return for a 3-game road set at Wisconsin this weekend. First pitch is on Friday at 6:30 on the Big Ten Network. Or you can listen here with Learfield. Again, I'm Lucas Strain. You've been listening to, we thank you very much for listening to this edition of Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Final score, Northern Iowa Panthers 4, Iowa Hawkeyes 2. Again, thank you very much for listening in. Wherever you may be, have a good night, everybody. And as always, go Hawks.
Iowa Hawkeye Softball has been brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye Softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.